So we'll just start into the questions. The first question is, which we pretty much already talked. How's your day today?
Oh man, I've got to have another day,
And
so
you
it's
look
all right.
at where our eye levels are.
Oh, so I don't have to okay.
You don't got to look at that at all. How was your day today?
I had a great day. I got to live another day, and I had coffee, so it's a great day.
All right, we'll go straight into it. Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
Oh man, well this is interesting because my grandfather came, like so many Italians in this area, from a little island off of Naples called Ischia for fishing, and he ended up marrying an Italian-American woman from here. My grandmother had 6 other sisters. It was 7 sisters, the Pugliese sisters, right over here on 10th Street.
Yeah.
And they had a boarding house. And he was a little older. He came here when he was 19, worked and fished like crazy, and then, let me go find an Italian wife. Goes back, can't find one, comes here, marries her. Now, my dad's born on the kitchen table in 1932, but the cord's wrapped around his neck. He gets a little cerebral palsy. Now this changes his life course. He's the sharpest guy in the room, but he limps and he talks slow. And you grow up, born in 32, but you grow up in the 50s and you talk like that, you walk like that, people think you're mentally defective. Believe me, he wasn't mentally defective. So, but as many good lessons I learned from this guy overcoming this, because he turned out to be quite a grinder himself.
Yeah.
I told him one time, I go, man, best day, worst day. Worst day, day you were born. Best day, day you were born. Because he just wanted to work in the canneries, work on a fishing boat. My grandfather told him, no, you're a liability. So he's frustrated. So he's got to be a day laborer, got to use his mind, and he becomes a contractor. Now this leads to my mom. She's an army brat, basically. Dad's a major, a veterinarian in the army.
Yeah.
Gets stationed in New Guinea. One heck of a hellhole in the Pacific with the wrong gear, MacArthur having guys go over the hill, guys dying, weird jungle diseases. They're transferred all around World War II. Guy comes back. He's got some weird jungle infection, as told to me. They give him at that time penicillin. He's allergic to it. Kills him at the age of 34. He's buried in Arlington. My grandmother, my mom's mom, moves out here with her sisters.
And
This is my mom's family.
Okay.
So we got the Italian side. Now we got my mom's family, a little Irish, Scottish. Maybe some of them came here when the Mayflower came. You know, as white as you can be.
Yeah.
But my grandmother, she marries another guy who they have a little bit of a tumultuous drinking relationship. They bounce around town. So my mom starts at this kind of level of society. Mom gets remarried, dad's dead, and now you move a little lower. She marries my dad, who's got a little difficulty. Now, great lessons from watching this guy work, but he's kind of a pain in the A as a human being. I'm not close with either one of these people. My dad's got a ferocious temper, and that was hard sometimes. Then you want to you're the oldest kid, you want to please, so you're always the only, he didn't know how to be close. At 60, I'm not mad at anybody. I see where they came from. They did the best they could. I'm not mad. I'm not close. The lessons I got are great. Try to do better with my kids. But that dealing with anger, that's how I used to deal with problems. So you got to go through a journey of dealing, what's appropriate use of anger? Is it ever appropriate? Then you read the Stoics and like, no, why should I hand my power to somebody else? How could I use this better? So childhood was tough trying to please this guy because he couldn't do a lot of things. But here's the blessing. Because he couldn't do a lot of things, at 4, 5, 6, I'm sweeping jobs. Yeah. But I got to listen to him. Jesus, yeah. You left this. Yeah. But I got to try a lot of things. Yeah. And then he and my mom figure out, hey, you're building these apartment buildings. Let's hold on to a couple of them. And as his body got older, he had to stop working. He finally got his Social Security. So if someone ever deserved it, it was this guy. He's a broken physical man. But then he's got these apartment buildings. And my mom's a great partner, but they're like super uber focused, and they build this thing that grows over time where they own enough property to pay their bills and then some, but they're not close with me. And that's a regret. And, like I'd go to play football in the 70s, had a very hard-nosed coach at the little Catholic school I went to, Mary Star. Best medicine we needed for a place at that time. But my mom would say if I complained about this guy being like a bit of a hard nose or cruel, she'd simply say, well, that's fine. Quit then. Go hang out with your father. It's like, oh, man. Wash your socks, wash your jocks. We're going to football practice. Yeah. And you learn to deal with it. But that was my childhood. Again, they did the best they can. Very proud. Like I always said about him, I helped him get dressed, tie his shoes, tuck in his shirt. I see this guy walking and looking the way he was feeling, and yet get up every day, go grind 7 days a week, having to call people, dealing with people if they think that you're drunk or you are mentally defective, and you're not. And he grew up in it. Now you grow up in this era, people go, oh, okay, he was born that way. Let's learn about the person first. Yeah. Back in those days, oh my God, did your family commit a sin? Did they drop you? Yeah. Why are you messed up like that? Somebody did something. Someone put a curse on the family, and maybe because he had a ferocious temper, instead of like putting a foot in his behind when he was little, they just let him be a little bit of a knucklehead. Yeah. Instead of telling him, like, hey, knock it off. So, but that was my childhood, and like I said, learning the attention to detail, and that was a good thing. Did I need more hugs? Yeah, but I'm doing better on that now.
What were your dreams as a child?
At 60, looking back, it's clear. Back then, I thought it'd be the neatest thing to create a family. And when your dad doesn't, and mom doing the best they can, and maybe my dad didn't have the greatest self-esteem, and then you grow up, hey, they look in our family weird because your dad's a little weird. Yeah. My self-esteem isn't that great. And that has an effect on you, having relationships and all. What's the question again? Because I got hit in the head a lot.
What were your dreams as a child?
I wanted to make a family, which I got to do. But, when you're like 13, 14 and you're a little knucklehead, to think that somebody would think enough of you to make a family with you, man, it's like huge. Because you go like, I'm not worthy. It turns out later, once you build some self-esteem, yeah, you could do that. Now on the other stuff,
did you say that before you build your family, did you already have your self-esteem built up, or
no?
Progress.
It was I had to progress, and I'd like to thank every girlfriend I've ever had on the way that dumped me.
Yeah.
I always, when I see them later in life, I always say thank you for taking a shot on me. You saw things in me that I didn't even see in myself yet, and you gave me a shot. I'm like a serial monogamist. I like falling in love. I never was that rich or famous. That's why I never passed judgment on a Magic Johnson or something. I never was a 20-year-old with $1 million going to new cities and people falling out of the woodwork to take a shower with you. That wasn't my life. Yeah. But I'm grateful for that. I got to go at my pace and learn about me, and I'm grateful for these ladies that gave me a shot. And I always apologize too, because sometimes I wasn't the best boyfriend. I had a girlfriend in my 20s that I thought I would marry, and there was some infidelity on her part that broke my heart. But then I kept going back, trying to fix it, and I realized later that, hey, she kind of did me a favor. I was blessed to learn about myself and to learn about another human being and share with this person. I really wasn't. I got to take some responsibility too. Now, I didn't cross that line. That's okay. But was I the best supportive guy? Was I a pain in the butt? Was I unreasonable sometimes? And I always want to look back and say, hey, what did I contribute or not contribute? So I had dreams besides being a rock star and realizing that you'd have to practice really hard. And it started at 12, pick up a guitar, and I'm like, I can't move my fingers. And only you find out later when you coach football for 30 years, all you got to do is grind a little bit every day. If I would have just kept grinding, I could play at least Guantanamera right now for you, but I can't. So that led to playing football and being part of a group and feeling value and worth and contribution. And so when I got out of high school, local park was looking for coaches. And back then you didn't need to be a dad. You didn't even need to be fingerprinted. They just look at you, you look like a decent dude. It was the 70s. I coached a team. I had so much fun. I go, I'd love to be, how do you get paid to do this? And I lived around here. I said, man, let me go to school, become a teacher. I'll get paid on the regular. Probably would have made more money being a contractor with my dad, but he was such a prickly pear cactus to hang out. We kind of like stayed away.
How would you describe, just in general, your relationship with your dad growing up and how you felt in that relationship?
I was just sharing the other day, my son's going to be a marriage family therapist, so we have some great conversations. Because he deals with kids. And I talked, I go, there are times I'd go to my grandma's house, I go like, do you guys know he acts like this? And you just felt like you weren't heard. Can somebody tell him to stop acting like this? There's got to be a better way. And you felt like nobody was an advocate for you. Like, where's your mom? My mom would go, well, that's the way he is. And you're like, this inner thing, like, this can't be right that this happens like this. Yeah. This amount of verbosity and negative talk can't be good. So, but I wanted to please the guy. I love the guy. You want to love him, but he's kind of your pain in your butt abuser too at the same time. And as you get into your teen years, you start to separate a little bit more instead of building. And the parallels with me was that now I've got 2 kids, and I did some things good, and I screwed some things up. And with my son, I could tell you that teen years were probably screwed up because we had some separation. He felt he had to be a certain way, and I didn't let him know enough that, no, you're fine. You're a great dude. Just be you. But your dad coaches a macho sport. Yeah. And I need to be one. No, you just need to be a dude. There's a lot of ways. If I've done anything coaching, there's a lot of ways to be a guy. You don't have to put on 7 pounds of plastic and run into people for 3 months to be a dude. You can be a great guy a lot of different ways. And we need a variety of decent guys on the planet. You don't all have to play a team sport and run into each other. I had fun. So that thing was broken. So I think being on a team helped start the roots of getting some more self-esteem, that I could have another male tribe around me that could kind of make me feel that I had value and worth, that I could contribute, and that I was accepted. Because sometimes you didn't feel accepted at home, except if you were providing a chore or a service done, or you weren't making any trouble. You brought home good grades. You're doing the right thing.
So if in one word you can describe the feeling of the relationship with you and your dad, what would that word be? I was just going to say, maybe a few words.
Lovingly disconnected.
Okay, that may, yeah.
Yeah, because I get it. I don't want to. The guy's 80s. He's in his mid-80s. He did the best he could. Yeah. And I know that he's changed as time went on too. The ferocious lion, all of a sudden you get a little older, things change. Yeah. I'm talking to you, Dag, if you see this, you know what I'm talking about.
What about your relationship with your mom and how that felt?
That one's been a hard one and a hurtful one, because she was my main confidant. Yeah. That's all I had. You couldn't talk to him. But she's kind of a hard-nosed too, and I respect that. And if I get one takeaway, huge, that I got from my mom, was to respect women. I never was Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. I don't think anyone could put a hashtag #MeToo by me. Yeah. You want to throw a rock, you can, but they're not going to have 25 people coming out of the woodwork saying that guy Costa because I learned this from my mom. You respect women. That's your sister, that's your mom, that's your aunt, that's your niece, that's your neighbor's kid. Those are human beings. Now, that being said, as I got older and got married, she did not connect well nor attempt with my wife, who I find, and I've been with my wife now 30 years. Early on, we get a disconnect there, and to this day, my mom and dad are not close with me and my wife or my kids. And I wish it wasn't that way. They were kind of nasty and mean. You could be that to me, I'll tolerate it. You could be that way a little bit with my wife, and I shouldn't have done that. But when my little girl was born, and I see this pattern going on again, and not knowing how to set boundaries, like I do a little better at it now. I didn't know at 30, 29, I'm supposed to love these people. I didn't know how to set a boundary. I just separated myself. I love you across the street. I wish it was better, but I can't be around this. I want to do this better.
What did you learn from that whole situation?
I want to do it better.
Yeah.
I gotta do it better. I gotta be a better dad. I gotta be a better husband. And like right now, my daughter's about to give birth. And I swear to God, I'm just praying. Two women go, this one woman with a girl inside her goes in the hospital, and two girls come out in one piece. And I'm gonna cry the rest of my life looking at this kid.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna do. And everyone's like, oh, this little girl, she's going to be riding around your big... Yeah, I'm retiring because I'm going to babysit this little girl in the mornings, and I'm honored. I don't braid hair well. I'll learn by watching YouTube. But that's what hurts, is I see my daughter get married, and I try to be excellent to my son-in-law, like I got treated by my father-in-law. He set the bar, my wife's father, my father-in-law, is not with us anymore. He let me be me. He knew that I cared and loved for his daughter. Did I have wrinkles and warts and faults? Yup. But he knew I could provide, and I was going to hustle. There's things I haven't done good in that relationship sometimes. I need to be better romantic, and my wife will go, yeah, I could hear her yelling through the thing. But I got room to do that, and I don't think they were supportive to my wife, and I think we all missed out too much on relationships here. Yeah, we had more kids. My mom had to deal with my dad. I don't know all the stressors she had to deal with. I know this: if I had a disconnect right now with any of my kids, I'd be picking up the phone. And even if it wasn't my fault, it's my fault, I'm sorry. What can I do? Can I bring a pizza over? What's going on? I'm not going to let my guys or my girl walk away. And if they got grandkids, I don't want to be that pain in the butt where you got to get a temporary restraining order to keep mad grandpa away. I don't want that. I'm going to make amends, whatever I got to do. Now, some would say, hey, you're acting like you're whipped some way. No, I want to be a good person to the next generation. Steve Jobs is right. People got to die. We got to move on, make room for the next group. Knowing that, I need to do the best I can to leave a legacy for those guys after I leave, to say, hey, this is how you treat people. But then straight from the heart, though, I would never want to lose one of my kids over a spat. I wouldn't want to not be able to be around my grandkids over a spat, because I've met adults, well, this is the way I am, take it or leave it. Yeah. And it's like, at some point, I've always had this great thing for me, and I sucked at it sometimes, self-awareness for self-improvement. I want to be better. I want to be a better Domenic Costa at 61 than I was at 60. And all that stuff I share with you, like I was talking with my son, because he worries, he goes, Dad, you do all this grinding. Are you filling a hole? Or are you just trying to feel worthy? I go, no, it's fun now. I feel good. I got a purpose. I'm going. And if I could talk to 7-year-old Domenic,
Yeah.
I'd turn and go, hey, Dom, it's going to be okay, dude. Hang in there. You're a good guy. Breathe. And go practice that guitar a little bit more. It's tough. Just keep practicing it. Maybe you're not going to be the next Hendrix, but keep practicing it.
Can you tell me about your first love and how that felt?
Oh, man. Neighbor,
Yeah.
12 years old. And she was a tomboy. And she was a strong woman. I like strong women. My mom's a strong woman. I always make the joke, if you want a doormat, go to Home Depot. And guys would like make jokes, hey, you're whooped, you got a strong one. Like, dude, I think they're the best. Give me a strong, smart woman any day of the week. So it's my neighbor. And like a lot of us, that first kiss, it's like lightning going through your body. Like, and then the infatuation, what you don't know yet enough about love, you just know that goo goo gaga, the good brain chemicals going through you because you're like in love, and it's neat. Real love though is going to be later, but when you're 12, 13, you don't get that yet.
You just felt.
Oh my God, it was. I'm so grateful that I got to live to experience that, because that was just a blessing.
Can you tell me about your first loss or heartbreak and how that felt?
It might have been the same gal.
Yeah.
Might have been the same gal, because they're perfect 13, 14-year-old girl now, and they come and tell you, well, another person's been talking to me, and it might be between you and him. And at least I had enough self-esteem at that time to say, if you gotta choose,
Nice.
thank you very much. Now, that was hard, and that happened. Then there were other breakups, like a lot of us suffer, and you boo-hoo, because especially as guys in this society, I think we raise our males, hey, don't you cry, don't you share your feelings, so we bottle it all up.
Yeah.
Girls, on the other hand, I've been around them for 37 years in the classroom, been married to a great gal, I've raised another great gal. They got a lot of little mafias they talk to and share with and get it out.
Yeah.
Us guys, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, you don't talk about that, or you're a weirdo to talk about that. And we're learning now, no, we're human beings just like you women.
Yeah.
And we got feelings too, but we squash it and keep it in, and we're not allowed to share and cry. It's okay to be an angry so-and-so, but because it's all based on fear. At one time in my own marriage, I had anger issues. My wife says, hey, you go get in a group and go talk about this, or this might end. I was real motivated. So I had a health plan. I go to a couple sessions. I'm sitting there, and the lady goes, you need to go to depression group.
Yeah.
Thinking they're like, I'm not depressed. I'm just angry.
Yeah.
But I'm motivated. I'm not even court ordered. I go in because I want to get better. I don't want to lose what I have. I go to group session for depression. Second session, I'm like St. Paul on the road to Damascus. The lightning bolt hits me. Like, that's why. Because you're scared of things and you can't say it. So that helped a lot, because now I could get this out. Whereas before, I would act out, and that caused problems with relationships. So I think my wife would tell you if she was here that was a good point. But me telling you, it's been a great point to learn out about myself and grow from there.
Who first taught you love and how?
Both parents to some degree. I gotta say, there were some good teachers I had, and specifically growing up around here, going to Mary Star, we had Immaculate Heart of Mary nuns, and we had some great ones. And even though it was the 60s and 70s and they ruled with the fist, it was an iron fist wrapped in a velvet glove.
Yeah.
They loved you. And then they'd talk with you. And then sister would listen to you. And then she'd give you a little advice, tell you to knock it off. And that helped. And then It's like a dear friend of mine. My family would be friends with another family of boys. We had an event. I go to leave. The lady gives me a hug. Changed my life. And I told her that too. And I told her sons that too. Your mom changed me with one hug. Because from that day forward, I realized, even though my parents, it's hard for them to do, I needed a little bit more of that. And I found out that most of the world needs that too. I wasn't alone needing that. But that bit of love that she shared with me. My grandfather, my dad's dad, going to have like 14 to 16 grandchildren. The first 14, 16 of them were all guys. Sundays, go to Church of Mary Star, going to have lunch Sundays at Grandma and Grandpa's house while he's alive. After he passed, my grandma was tired. She says, that's it. He'd be waiting in that entryway. Here come all these boys. I would go last on purpose because my name is Domenico, just like his. And my last name is Costa, just like his. Didn't give me any more value than my other cousins. They're valuable too. But I was the only one with that combination. And in my little 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old brain, I always felt, and I could still feel his stubble, that white, stubble, because he's an older Italian guy, sticking in the face and smelling the Old Spice. I can smell it right now.
Yeah.
And I always felt I got a little longer hug from him at the end. Yeah. And that meant something to me. I know he had to hug everybody. There's no fair, but I thought, he loved all the boys. Yeah. Even though we drove him nuts, because it's like before there's WWE, it was wrestling in that house, and it was like a war zone. But that's a story for another day. But my grandfather, my friend's mom, my own parents a little bit, the kind nuns at Mary Star, that helped.
So what's love to you now versus what it has been? And if it's changed, what's the difference?
It's a commitment. For me, it's a commitment. Don't get me wrong. There's still, like with my wife, I look at her, I go, you feel good things. But I also know I stood up in front of a crowd of 200-300 people, said, I'm going to do this. And that meant something to me. And it meant something to her. And there's times where I'm sure during the 30 years, she wanted to stick a fork into my neck, and maybe, I don't want to pick up, maybe I did too. Or I wanted to go out the door and not come back. But I committed to it. And that level of intimacy that grows over the decades from knowing somebody and communicating better and growing, that's gold. But love now, besides that, is at its core, it's just giving. It's just giving. Be positive. Don't keep score. Hey, I did 3 things. You owe me a sandwich. No. Just give. I tell you, this thing, love, is exponential. Yeah. It shines the light into all the cracks. Just shut up. Doing the right thing is always the right time to do the right thing. Just do the right thing. Love people. Give. Give it all away. I'm leaving. Give it all away. Give it all away. Give all your information. We grow up, don't share about money, don't share about your sex life. Share everything. If it helps somebody, give a little bit. Smile at somebody. And then you learn that being a teacher at a school, how much it meant to one kid. You just say, hey man, nice boots. Hey, how are you today? And not being a creeper male too to the females. Just because it's tough being a girl. After you're raising me, I get it. Like, my God, just walk down the street. Can I just walk down the street and not have people like what's up with that? Yeah. So love is just that. It's that giving. And then in the giving, I hate to say it, but I do love to say it. It feels good. It just was the right thing. I could sleep better at night because I did that. So whenever you want to take me off this planet, okay, it's been a rad blessing just to be here. What's that? What do they say? 400 trillion to 1? My mom gets a sip of water or a glass of wine 3 minutes sooner or later. I'm not even here talking to you.
Yeah.
And then I put that tattoo here, 86,400. How many seconds in a day? Don't waste it.
Yeah.
I tell that when I coach JV football, more about love. I teach these guys about love. We start practice, and I got this from Joe Ehrman with the Baltimore Colts. I tell the kids, what's my job? And they all say it. This is Pedro High. To love us. I go, what's your job? They go, to love each other. That brings up some good conversations. How do we love each other? Being of service to each other. Not keeping score. You just do. You give. This whole thing. Because you're going to lead your family someday. And it's not going to be, hey, it's my turn now. No, you just give. And watch what happens. You're going to get the universe is going to smile on you. And that leads to the other one I was starting with, because I'll talk all day. But here it is. I asked those guys, who's supposed to die first, you or me? You, because you're old. I go, ha ha ha. How many of you got dead friends? Show of hands. All of a sudden the hands go up. Yeah, there's no fair in this life. We got a little sense of urgency. We got these seconds today. What are we doing with our today? I love that, and I shared, I saw it the other day. 112-year-old man. They asked him, what's the secret? Did you go day to day? He goes, no. I went day to night, day to night. It's a great lesson. Sometimes we're thinking too far ahead. I was guilty of it. Go to the next moment. Love. That hate just tears me apart. It weakens me. And usually the poor sucker who's showing hate on us, it's more of a reflection of where they are. And that takes a while to get. Because when you work with teenagers, they want to throw a rock at every barking dog. Someone looked at me, they disrespect. Yeah. Dude, sometimes the biggest hater's sitting at the dinner table with you. It's not their fault, that's where they're at. Just love them.
Can you tell me about what's a general good day for you?
Wake up, get up early. I go to the restroom by myself, not on myself. I still know my name. Don't have to lean on the wall. Those are the basics. I know that's too much to say, but like as you get older, man, you'll know. Yeah. And I've been blessed to go to work for 37 years and be around kids. They always go, you gave a lot? Nah, they gave me a lot. They made me be better, and I appreciate it. But I'm looking forward to chasing more of my side hustles, still coaching the football, and I'm looking forward to continue to be the best friend, husband, dad, granddad, coach, neighbor. Like I do all the side hustles. They don't have to hire me. I'll tell you how to make this money yourself. Yeah. I'll tell you how to mail that package. Don't be overwhelmed. I love how they'll tell me like, I don't know how to do that. You got to press buttons. I go, dude, and they're my age, right? I go, you were 16, you didn't know how to drive a car. You learned how to drive a car, press the button. Yeah. You don't need to dance on TikTok, but check it out.
Yeah. Tell me about a bad day for you and how you pushed through that bad day.
One thing about being a dad is there's going to be a day like when your father-in-law dies suddenly. And somebody, there's that guy who trained Michael Jordan, Tim Grover, the closer, the cooler, the closer, and the cleaner. The cleaner is the one like the Kobe Bryant, the Michael Jordan. We're just going to go do the work. Mm-hmm. We don't win the championship and put our feet up. We're like Jerry Rice. We're back at the facility running sprints 2 days later because we're getting ready for the next one. And sometimes I want to be more free with my emotions and feel the pain, but somebody's got to be ready when the bad day comes. And so I always maybe got one other foot on the other side of the line ready for that. The Stoics have a Latin phrase for it of looking into the future and thinking about the worst absolute horror that could happen. Don't spend a lot of time on it. So by playing these things out, because life's going to happen to us. Horrors are going to happen. The people we love are going to get hurt and leave us in the most maybe a pleasant way or the most horrible way. But I've had those days, and I felt like I had to lead. Someone's got to make that phone call. Someone's got to clean that up. Someone's got to run and get this taken care of. And that's the bad day. Not that I spend a ton of time thinking about it, but maybe thinking a little bit about it daily frees me up to do a better job to enjoy the rest of this day. Because I got to leave, and that's going to suck, but until then, hey, I'm like Tigger. My head's made out of rubber, tail's made out of spring. Let's go.
What are two things, it can be two things, events, people that have shaped you, good or bad? How does it feel when you reflect on those things? And it could just be one thing, doesn't need to be two, it's up to you.
Outside of my family, coaching football, particularly, I stopped about 2002. I needed to stop. I was going for like a decade and a half, 2 decades, and I wasn't present enough. I still may not be, but I'm working on being more present for my own kids when they were little, and I needed to get away. Then my friend asked me to help him at Mary Star. Kind of got it going. They're nice people. That didn't work out. When it didn't work out, I get a phone call from Mr. Mike Walsh. Hey, I need a guy to film games. Can you come film games? I said, yeah, I'd be honored. Come and film the games. The man that I used to know has changed and grown. He wasn't a bad guy before, but uber intense. But now he's changed, and life happened to him, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. He retires, and then my good friend Corey Miller says, I want you to coach the JVs. I'm like, I don't know I've always been an assistant coach. So after 4 years, I coached this team, and these gentlemen I'm lucky enough to work with on a daily basis with these guys, it's kind of like I was in a rock band, the Rolling Stones, and it broke up because it had to. But I got called back, and we're doing this reunion tour for 4 years. And a lot of those young coaches, a lot of those players, they didn't know me from a chicken. I know what part I played in that role, in that little series, a decade or so of making history. And those guys, they knew that. But I was away from it. They don't know I was the bass player in the original band, whatever it was. And now they kind of see this next crop of kids. And then the older guys I had, they knew me. They come back, they say hello. And to work with these gentlemen on this quest to make the best bunch of kids from this little area be competitive has been outside of my family, which that's beyond words. But outside of my family, this little being in the band again, my own Wolfpack band of brothers, and and you know what's great about the Pirates? We're all a little different, and it's encouraged. We want you to be a little different. We're all going to fight and kill for each other, but Pirates don't usually wear uniforms. One guy's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's carrying this weapon, another guy's got this, but we're all in the same family, and we all got a common cause. And being part of that again has been so huge. Now, because I can't ever say that jumps past this little girl that's going to get born is like, that's way, but everybody gets that. But just that I have been blessed with that group and to be part of it again. Short of me having a stroke or they fire me, I will hang around and do something for as long as they will have me. And I am capable to contribute in a positive manner.
What has inspired you and why?
I'm going to go back. Growing up here, loving football, I always saw San Pedro High. Now, I went to Mary Star. I had a choice, but I had fun at Mary Star. We played Pedro twice. They beat us twice. I'm that old. But I always saw Pedro, and back then they were always like the lovable losers. The almost got there, and a guy tripped over the pitcher's mound, and they lost. Then to go to Pedro, and we don't lose. We go 12-1-1. We go 13-1. We go 14-0. We go 13-1. We go in the big boy playoffs. We go deep year to year with regular dudes. We didn't send out a van and pick up guys all over. They made it here, and we did this. That has been a special part of my life. And to be a part of that and to build that and to be a part of that group. And I forgot that question again because my wife goes, dude, you ramble on so much.
What's inspired you and why?
That's it. I said, I love this community, which is crazy. You look around sometimes and you look at how it's changed. And in some ways it's gone south a little bit there or a lot. But I always said, let me contribute to something that makes it nice. And I have. I've made that little part of it shine a little bit. And I think in that, being that way, I think maybe we've created or helped some guys. I don't want to say, no, I did that. No. But maybe showing love, listening, and building through that sport, that season. Because I think once you bleed and sweat together, you become brothers in a way.
Yeah.
And you can't get rid of that. You're brothers. So you got this shared pain, adversity, highs and lows that you can't take away. And I think that's huge for guys. And so that I got to do that, and I was inspired to do that. And again, that came from the guy from Ischia. My grandfather couldn't even swim. Leaves school when he's 7. He's the guy, becomes part owner of a boat out here. Got to climb the crow's nest. He can't swim. He's a fisherman for 40, 50 years. He can't swim. He's terrified the whole time. But I got to go. This is what I know what to do. I see my dad, who as he walks out the door, stumbles, falls down. I got to pick him up and comes home pissed off because he's had a long, hard day. Now, if he was playing West Montgomery jazz when the truck backed up, it's going to be a good night. Like jazz, like that guitar. But if he didn't, it was going to be hell to pay. But knowing, though, and seeing what he accomplished with my mom's help and support, that inspired me that, hey, if you want it, go get it, kid. Just shut up and do the work.
What has been a humbling experience for you? And how did that experience feel?
God, in 60 years, there's been tons of them. I got humbled the other day. And it's just a little humbling. There's big humblings. If I sit here for a while, I'll come up with a big humble. But here's the little humble. I'm helping at spring practice. Guy lands and falls. Clearly, as one coach is talking to him, his shoulder has maybe fell out a little bit. Coach, can you hold his arm and walk him over there? Well, as I go to grab his arm, the kid moves another direction. But the way that I'm holding his arm and the way he's turning, the other coach goes, Coach, I think you're hurting him. I felt bad. I got humbled. But then I got unhumbled because kid goes, hey, it just popped in. Thank you, Coach Costa. I was like, oh my God. Okay, did it bleed? Did we hurt a nerve? No, he'd heard it before. But it's these micro humbling experiences day to day, banging your head on something, driving somewhere and forgetting the tool, hitting that crack and falling down. And then the self-talk, hey, old man, pick up your feet. I think coaching football taught a lot too. That loss. You didn't teach that little part of the game. And that's how I coach. When we win, the kids did it. I didn't block anybody. I didn't score a touchdown. When we lose, blame me. I didn't teach that good enough. That's my fault. Yeah. That's on me, guys. And they love that, though. The old man will take the brunt of it. They know, hey, maybe they're part of it. But no, I'm the adult in charge. I should have prepared you better. That's my fault. So I'm teaching you guys to lead for your own family someday. You got to sit and do the thinking here a little bit and help out. So it's the micro humblings. I think it's a lifetime of being humbled. I might be humbled on my way down the elevator as I might drop the phone and it goes down the elevator shaft. Just this is the kind of stuff that happens day to day. So I just get grateful I can make it to my truck safely, drive home, and not forget anything or break it. So it's on and on. Now the big humbles, maybe because I've had a lot of the little humbles, I want the humbles. Isn't that something? Everybody wants to win. Sometimes you got to embrace the humbles and the losses because they teach you stuff if you're ready for the lesson. And that's if I could share that today, you have a choice. You could get mad at this thing or look for the lesson. Now I sound like a feel-good Tony Robbins thing, but he's right. He's right. What's this trying to teach me? Maybe I need to take a breath. Maybe I need to take a nap. Maybe I need to use the restroom. Maybe I need to eat that burrito. Just stop. Breathe. Learn how you think, Dom. Don't worry about fixing it tonight. Go to sleep. Somewhere in that deep sleep, you'll wake up, be like the Tetris. It'll all fit together. Make a decision. All your decisions you make aren't going to be awesome. Sometimes they're going to suck, but you're the dad. You're the human in charge here. Make the decision. Go ahead and make it. Don't worry about and then worry that someone's going to laugh at your decision. Just make that decision. That's what I share with the young ones. But yeah, that's a great question. I'd say it's a lifetime of micro humblings got me ready for the next humbles to like when you get the big humbles, and you're going to get the big humble. It's waiting for you.
I think if you pay attention to the micro humblings, that big humbling won't be catastrophic.
Like the Titanic.
Yeah.
My daughter got to watch that movie 14 times. We always joke, I think there was room for Jack on that piece of wood. But you see it over and over with any kind of human tragedy. Sometimes it is random and it's massive and it was just one mistake. Often it's those little ego things. Oh, I let it go. I checked it off. I didn't double check that. Hey, we're going a little too fast. Why are we going fast? Because we want to market that this ship goes fast. Let's get there. Hey, there's a lot of icebergs up here. It's a spring, dude. We should need to slow down. No, we're going to lose 700 lives. We're going to sink a brand new ship that we probably didn't even finish paying for. For what? And all the little red flags were going up. Same with dating nowadays, because I follow people. You saw the red flags, but did you know enough about yourself? Yeah. Where sometimes your self-esteem was so low, you accepted the poor behavior, but they were like Oprah and who is it? Maya Angelou. When someone tells you they're a certain way, they meant it, and they might be telling you with their actions. You need to pay attention.
Go in your mind and think. This life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. Tell me about a time in your life that you can relate with the word war. I started my career 9 years at Washington Prep, and it was you haven't lived till you check out a kid and have to write deceased, and he's 14 and he was coming out of the 7-Eleven at the wrong time, and they shot into the store and hit the kid in the head. And it's those drive-by shootings that I witnessed just after, and one of them in particular, I had the kid in class and he kept claiming this other gang. I said, like, dude, don't do that at this school, because we got a lot of different little sets and cliques. We live out here, we got like 1 or 2 cliques, gangs. We know if you're paying attention, you know who the players are. Just do your business. You're not going to bug nobody. Up in other parts of LA, it's a little bit more intense. There's more of them around. And at Washington Prep at that time, there was. So you keep claiming this thing. Well, what happened was someone from a rival set came over the fence. Now I'm driving my truck around. I left the science building. I'm going to park by, football season's over. We're going to do stuff with the guys. And as I park my truck, I'm coming in the gate. All the kids are like running. Now, usually you used to see a fight, everybody's running to it. They're running away. And I'm like, uh-oh, what happened? Someone came over the fence, shot that kid in the head 2 times. And he's laying there, right on the floor, between the bleachers of Washington Prep. Now, the shooter left, went over the fence,
And we as a staff, hey, you go call 911. They were, the fire department's right across the street. Who's opening the gates? Who's staying with the guy? And I'm looking down at this kid. He's got 2 holes. And he's bleeding out it. And there's brain showing. And, you know, it's like, what is going on here? For what? Why are we claiming anything around here? We don't own any of this. But it's hard. They grow up in that environment. And I understand it. I'm not giving approval to it, but I understand it, the gang life. How it happens. How these guys and gals feel a part of something and validation that they're part of something. But to see the carnage, you know, that was rough. There were a couple of those incidences where they're shooting a gun and you see him shooting the gun. You see the guy shooting into a car. And you're like standing like 30 yards away watching him shoot into a car, and you're like, I really don't have anywhere to go. I can get on the floor, but I still might get hit. What do you do? You know, so I would say that's been the closest carnage. That and when a dear friend of mine...
How did that feel going through experiencing all that?
It's surreal. This ain't a movie. This is real. This is a human being being torn apart horribly by somebody else. You separate yourself a little bit because you got to help get this situation done. For me, it always hits me days later. Now, you might say it's a PTSD thing. Yeah, maybe. Somebody's got to keep their wits about them during this. If I start screaming and going nuts, and that's not going to help this situation with these kids here. This has got to get solved. We got to keep these kids safe. We got to try and help this kid who's hurt, get him out of here. And then later on that afternoon, I'm in the weight room, and the sister comes. And she sees where he was laying in the puddle of blood, and her emotions. And it just hits you. And there's nothing I can do. Custodian didn't even wash it up. It rained like 2 days later, and then it's gone. It's like it never happened. Yeah, it happened. It happened right there. Ain't never going to get forgotten. You know, you carry that with you. You know, that was deep. And then I had a dear friend that killed himself, and I did the cleanup for the family, and that one, you know, I think more of us need to admit that we got someone, and I'm glad there's more awareness for mental things going on with people, that it's real. It's not like, hey, go eat a cookie, you'll get over it. No, you might need to talk to somebody. We need to get to the root cause of this. It could be a chemical imbalance and more. When someone hurts that bad, that whole thing growing up in the 50s, 60s, oh man, they couldn't take it. They didn't take the easy way out. They got like a spiritual, psychological cancer. They hurt inside. Because in their right mind, he never would have done this, ever. So that was a tough stretch, and still is. And that's why I have this semicolon tattoo. That lady who did that, you know, you're not, when you get to the end of your sentence, just put the semicolon there. You can go on to the next. Those incidents, those two, the bundle at the other school, and then that one in particular, you know, the brutality of it.
What do you think are things you do that you either did then to cope with those situations, or that you do ongoing to cope with those experiences of your friend killing himself and just processing that information in a positive way?
As I shared, maybe I didn't address it right away, because within that group of family and friends, I've got a lead. And so I deal with it later, the hard part. But I think I'm getting better at, like, okay, You can stick it in that room or that compartment, but you're going to have to pull it out and look at it later. You're going to have to talk about it, even to yourself or your significant other, and share this wound. Because in the sharing, I'm going to get on maybe some, you know, when we lose a loved one, give it time. You learn to carry it better. Everybody I know that's died, I've never forgot them. They're still running in the loop right up here. I love them. They're still here. I can still smell my grandfather's aftershave. He died in 1974. I can, you know what I mean? But that being said, maybe that's been my process. They're gone, but they're not really gone. They're right here. And as I've gotten older too, when someone close to me goes, in a weird way, it makes me stronger and makes me appreciate that I got another day. So don't waste it. You're going to get humbled again with your ego is the enemy. Ryan Holiday said so, but he's right. It does get in the way. You're going to get humbled, but learn from it and do a better job today than yesterday, and love people better the next day and the next day. So maybe that's part of it. I got to pull it out. I got to talk about it. Even if it's self-talk. If I need to go see someone, then I need to go schedule and see somebody about it, period. But it's created appreciation for the next day to day.
Now, same question. Go on your mind and think this life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. But tell me about the time that you can relate to the word peace.
"10 years ago, I peed blood. Thought I had a kidney stone. It's just a kidney stone. I had kidney stones 8 years ago. My wife's friends say, hey, go to the doctor. What are you, nuts? Well, you're a guy. What are they going to do? Check my bladder. How do they check a guy's bladder? Does that seem like a comfortable thing to get in line to do? But you got a health plan. You got people dependent on you, so you go. Hey, you want to see on the TV screen inside your bladder? Yeah, it's right next to you. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, look, that's a tumor. You got cancer. That's another moment I probably should have mentioned, humbling. But that's where the peace comes from too. Because it got me on the journey of they get it out. And now you're going to get your bladder checked a couple times a year for a couple years, then twice a year, now just once a year. So you get real comfortable with being uncomfortable. But you got a higher purpose. So you're going to get in line and go get checked. And that's been the fuel and the peace. Hey, you're still here. I feel like Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas Day when he wakes up after seeing those 3 ghosts. Wait a minute. Open the windows. Hey kid, what day is it? You're kidding, it's Christmas Day. Here's some money. Go down there and get that big fat goose and bring it to Cratchit's house, or whoever the guy's name was. That's what I feel like every day. Hey Scrooge, you woke up. You got another shot. You get to do this again. Do it better. Don't be you know what I mean? I don't want to curse on this thing, but Jack, you know what word I'm going to use next. Don't be that guy. Be the better one.
Yeah.
And then as you get older too, your money gets right. Yeah. You can stack some dollars. You handle a few bills, because there's times as a dad, you're building this thing and the times get tight and you worry too much. Instead of enjoying your 2 kids and your wife like you should, you're like, oh my God, what about the light bill next month? Well, you really just need to be present with your family at this moment. Go get another side hustle. We'll figure it out. But you grind and you got a perception in your head of what you want to do for these guys, so that creates pressure. But that's another one that can give you some calm. Go grind. Learn to be better financially. Get your finances in order. And all of a sudden, that helps a little bit. You're not as anxious or worried. Okay, we can solve that. Oh, the transmission broke? Well, we got a couple G's. I don't have to put it on the 8th credit card for 19%. You know what I mean? Don't get those car payments. Pay cash for that car. Stack dollars. That's what I still tell the young ones. So that can lead to the calm. Getting through that cancer gave me that appreciation and that calm. Then I had another couple scares. Like I got bloody noses. They go, hey, you got a tumor growing in there. What is this? It's like the decade of tumors, weird crap growing in me? And it's because of probably construction jobs when I was young. Who knows what got in there? I never got bloody noses. Lady pulls it out. Nah, no cancer, you're fine. It's like every time when they took that cancer out, when they took the one out of my sinuses, every time I go get checked and they go, hey, no cancer. It's a plug for Kaiser, I'll tell you why. I run out of that place and I almost run into the middle of PCH, but I go, that defeats the whole purpose if you get hit by a bus right now. I'm just so excited. I could run down the steps. I'm like, yes, I made it. I survived another, so many till my next checkup, and you get that appreciation. Then I breathe and go, okay, don't run into the street, breathe. Let's go make this good for others today. Because in doing it for the others, you're going to get a slice of pie yourself, so relax.
Can you tell me about a truly difficult time in your life, how that felt, and how you endured?
I'm going to go back to a relationship I had in my early to mid 20s. I dated a young lady for a number of years and broke up due to infidelity. And in my mind, I had already had a future hatched out with this person. That kind of hurt and pain ended up being a blessing as you go down the road. But at that time, it was just like, oh my God, you're like a raw wound to the world. Will anyone ever love me? Am I worthy of love? As I'm older now, I can look back and I'm grateful that I had that opportunity to learn. I'm grateful for the hurt because it taught me more about myself and made me look in, as I shared earlier, that, hey, you're part responsible. How good of a boyfriend were you? Yes, it might be 80-20, but you could have been better there, kid. And maybe this worked out the way it should have. And maybe that's how you need to look at it too. But that hurt. It was like a punch in the gut, because you're vested. And I get it, because as I got older and you see guys go through hurtful breakups, I get why guys are stalkers and they need temporary restraining orders, because we're not taught to share our pain.
Yeah.
And then we want to own and control. It's like, no, that's not an adult relationship. You love them and let them be everything they can be. You'll be surprised when you do that. Oh my God, they can't wait they'll be on you like static cling. You're gonna get a good thing, but you've got to hold it with an open hand. You got to let them be them. You got to not be tight, controlling, belittling, and hurtful because you're dealing with your own crap. You got to be the love it up coach. But that, I got to say, that breakup, that really made me look at things differently. Now, maybe for a long time I didn't let things get really close because I didn't want to get hurt again. Maybe that had an effect too through the decades. But as I'm getting older, I cry more at the movies. Like this little girl that's going to get born in a week, I'm going to cry. When my daughter got married, I cried. I cry more. It's good. I get teared up when I watch NFL films. Well, and the guys who watch this know what I'm talking about, but I do. I'm honored that I'm more in touch with that. And if I share anything with the guys, it's okay to. It's okay to let those emotions go. And to say to another guy, hey, I love you. I think you're great, dude. Why not? We need more of it. We need guys who can emote I think they'll be better for the planet, definitely better for the rest of this ongoing thing called Earth and the humans on it.
How would you say during that breakup, what helped you get through it?
Not alcohol. That just gets me in more trouble. I really didn't have a choice. I knew that I just needed time to breathe and I needed to go grind. And I've been grateful that my work and my avocation of coaching, football saved me that season, because I could pour myself into it till I was exhausted. And when the season ended, I was in a better place to start addressing me and my own hurts. But football saved me because I could pour it into there. I got a dear friend who's been an alcoholic forever, but he's clean and sober for 30, 40 years. I always remember he needed to do something. And so what he did is he built a Harley piece by piece in his 2-bedroom apartment in Pedro. Took the parts up the stairs, laid stuff out on a bedroom floor, and he worked on it every night.
Yeah.
Till he built it. It runs. He's running it in the bedroom in this apartment in San Pedro, a full Harley.
Yeah.
Now he's got to take it apart to go down, out the door, down the hallway, no elevator, down the steps, put it back together again to sell it. And that always stuck with me, that sometimes as guys, we need to have something. Some of us guys need that hands-on, something to pour ourselves into. And as I get older too, I'm seeing all humans. Good to have something that you get to create and be positive with. If it keeps you from being negative, man, you need to find it and you need to do it. And it's more than sitting around watching TV. I'm not against binge watching something, but man, that sofa's a killer when you get to my age. Boy, you stay there for a while and you get up and you're like, it all hurts. So that's why I'm always moving around.
Yeah.
I'll watch 2 shows, but I got to get up. I'm going to have a blood clot if I stay on the sofa too long.
Tell me about a truly joyous moment in your life and how that felt.
3 family. I was nervous to ask my wife to marry me.
Yeah.
I'm a little older. Now she gets mad when I tell the story because my kids torture her. You said yes. I asked her over there below the Korean Bell.
Yeah.
There's Mossy Rock right there. It was 1:30 in the morning. I've been walking her around all night, man. It was like Holy Saturday night. Took her to that monstrously long Catholic Holy Saturday night Easter Vigil Mass. Got her a bite to eat. Got drinks. I can't do it. I finally drive her there because I knew the moon would be perfect. Shining on the water there in the Catalina Channel. I asked her to marry me. She says yes. And she's crying and she's glad. And I'm glad I could convince at least one woman to marry me. Because the other one, that didn't work out. So this is all, I don't know how the rest of this is going to turn out. But that was awesome. Witnessing the birth, live births of both my kids. My wife of 30 years could leave me dirty next week. Okay, get half my stuff, half my pension. Okay, I'll go live in my truck. I don't care. Watching those 2 kids get born, I have no words. It's emotion provoking in me. Yeah. I was like, especially the first one, you think you've seen enough biology movies and then you're like, holy crap, this is wow. And your life changes. Both of them. That was huge. On a professional level, it's that first city championship in '92. Now as a coach, you're always thinking, okay, how much time is left? You never allow that we got this game sewn up. We gotta go. And we got like the so many point lead, And you look at the clock running down and you're like, they're not coming back. This thing that you've had in your head for a decade or more, it's about to go happen. And then the absolute joy, almost frivolity of men and boys jumping around, hugging each other, I love yous. There's something special about that. More recent, I've been telling my wife for years, because she likes game shows. Go for it. Life's short. Well, not that I did it, but she went for it. So she gets on Press Your Luck. And she, out of 60,000 people, they get down to the final 24. She gets to be on a show. So it's cool. We're going to go tape a show. So we go tape a show. And they keep you there. We're there 12 hours, no cell phones, no nothing.
Yeah.
You go through the first round. Because the guy's a little bit greedy, he goes for it one more time. Otherwise, my wife's done. Not going to go anywhere. He gets whammied out. She goes to the finals. Now, mind you, me and my tribe, my 2 kids, we're sitting in a little green room with the other families, and I sit close to the TV, and I go, son of a gun, she made the finals. She's going to win some money here. My daughter goes, what happens next? I go, Mom's going to the finals. And now this is what's great about my tribe, without even skipping a beat, my kids get up, my adult kids, and we hug and we love the other families. Oh man, it's a great day, so sorry. Because everybody thinks they're going to win.
Yeah.
Mrs. Costa won. Now we go to the finals. Got my son right there in the audience, got me and my daughter right there. My wife goes for it at the end, and she wins big. She's the biggest winner ever on Press Your Luck. And you can't talk to her. I'm just squeezing my daughter's hands. Now, one thing, if you know my wife, people go like, I was trying to tell her, like, this is good. You don't have to take any more gambles. But I've been with her for years. If I go to Vegas and gamble, I win $60, I'm going to pour 80 back in the machine.
Yeah.
She plays, hey, hold the 40. Go to the next thing. Play some more. Hold the 40. Next thing you know, we've got a stack of money. Let's go to the seafood buffet. We got it covered. Got that with house money. So if my wife says she wants to go for it one more time, good. Go for it one more time. All I wanted was enough money to go to Canner's and get a bowl of their barley soup. Yeah. I had the money anyway. We're going to get soup after anyway. They filmed it up in L.A. off of Fairfax, up there off of Melrose. So she goes for it and wins. And that, oh my God, and you can find it on YouTube. Mrs. Costa wins the money.
Yeah.
When she says, she points at my son, she points at my daughter and I, they're a blessing, this is a blessing, I'm taking my money and going home. And I just witnessed this thing. No words. It was like winning a championship game. And that we were all together. And we didn't have to win anything to have a good time. We already won. We had a good time. And the lady who's doing it, Elizabeth Banks, hugs and love with Elizabeth Banks. Hey, you get my favorite ones I've had on the show so far. So I've been blessed to have these experiences. And maybe I'm that good dad, good husband who keeps encouraging, go for that stuff. Because it sure was fun.
What keeps you up at night, and why do you think that is? If anything.
Usually I go to sleep. It's just the day-to-day. Like, what's that little moment of bad that could happen? But then I let it go. Yeah. I can't do anything about it. What do I control, and what effect do I have? If I don't have any, I gotta let it go and go to sleep. Tomorrow's another day. My mom used to say that. I always remember it. I guess it came from the movie Gone with the Wind. Tomorrow's another day. Yeah. And she's right. We're going to look back at this horrible day. It's going to be in the rearview mirror. Let's go from here. And that, I don't worry about the bills no more because I know we'll solve it. You can, like I mentioned earlier, that someone's going to get sick or hurt. Okay. You're ready now. Let it go. Let's enjoy this moment with your son now, with your daughter now. Give your wife a good hug now. Pay attention when you're sitting in there. Put the phone down. They'll tell you, he's looking at the phone. He's looking at the... Dad needs to pay attention. Dad needs to... So, if anything keeps me awake, it's me wanting to think about how did I do it bad and how can I do it better tomorrow.
What keeps you going every day?
I got one more shot. I got one more roll of the dice at the table. You kidding me? I get one more shot? They're going to pull the rug out. I'll be gone for... I'm going to be gone way long. I teach science for 37 years. You think about all this time, you can't even wrap your head around it, that was here before you got here. We're like a sliver. There's going to be this massive amount of time after you. Just shut up and go.
Yeah.
Just go. So you got 1 foot, okay. We worry about a pimple on our nose. Everyone else is worrying about their own pimple. Just shut up and go. I got to be here one more time. So let's make another adventure. Go make that vision board. Go get that whiteboard. I do it with the life skill kids. Make that bucket list. And it's funny. I'm not like the secret woo-woo the universe or anything. Put those things up on the wall.
Yeah.
Put it up there. I don't want to see Oprah. I want Oprah to interview me. Well, what kind of guy do you got to be that Oprah's ever going to want to talk to you? You better go back to work, kid. That's tomorrow morning when I wake up. Let's go back to work on it. Let's post one more positive thing there. Let's do some more good stuff. Because my big dreams, besides husband, wife, husband, dad, father, that's going to be repetitive, grandfather, I want to figure out how to do this better. I want to make so much money. I saw Snoop with his own league he pays for with the dollar bills on the helmet. Let's pay for my own league.
Yeah.
I want to get pink jerseys just for October so all the Pirates could wear a pink breast cancer awareness jersey and the guys can keep the jersey. Something cool looking, not just pink, but something that goes with our pirate look. And they get to keep it. Now, if they'll see this maybe they'll go, Coach, what do you think? I got to go make the money. They're like $100 a jersey. I'm going to need like 10 grand.
Yeah.
I'm looking for stuff, but that's a lot of loads of metal in my truck to get to 10 G's.
Yeah. Imagine you're in the hospital today. You have hours to live. What would be your regrets?
Most of it, I've got, God, it's going to sound bold. I don't have a ton of them at this time. I could tell you my heart's full at this moment. I'm going to regret the times I wasn't more present. I saw Bill Murray say it once. He goes, what do you want to be? He goes, I want to be here. Because so often, if you got a little ADHD and I'm undiagnosed, you're always like, oh, something shiny just flew by, like a crow. Like, oh, what's that? No, little shiny object syndrome. Be present. Be present for your loved ones. That's all that they're always going to remember after you're gone. That's what I would have a regret about. Do that better. I think they'd pat me on the head and go, dude, you gave it a good shot. They'll take that. My daughter's already said, Dad, just go to the light. We got this handled. We know how to write the checks. It's all good.
So, you're obviously here. You're going to make it. You're alive and well. Do you feel that you could change that regret from this point moving forward?
Darn right. Darn right. Like Clint Eastwood at the end of one of them movies, man's got to know his limitations. Well, I think I got this, and I'm verbalizing it.
Yeah.
And that's huge. I think they even got brain studies on that. Now, you're gonna have to check in with me on a year and bring my wife in here. She keeps score pretty good. And I like that. That young lady, I didn't tell enough about that. About the second, third date, I'm almost 7 years older. not only did she tell me go to hell, she told me to go straight to hell. And having someone who has not been fearful to call me on my BS has been one of the greatest gifts of my life. I haven't wanted to hear it or the manner that it was told to me sometimes, but I'm honored that someone cared enough to say it, because sometimes people won't.
You told me what your dreams were as a kid. What are your dreams now?
Okay, get ready. I want to coach so positively about football, side hustling, that maybe sometime I'll do it for free. But someday maybe I'm going to be at the next such and such big talk, and I want to stack those dollars because there's a bunch of nice stuff I like to give to, and it's around here. I want my own football league. And you don't have to name it after me. A little football league right here. We got the PV Mavericks. I love those guys. You got Tri-Cities died. Now you got the South Bay Spartans. Let's pay for a league. So some of these kids, it's hard for their families to get the gear. Okay, got to give a little money. You got to have a little skin in the game. But you got good little kids. Let's go. Let's play some football. We can go 0-10. I don't care. Yeah. And let's get some decent people, not scream at these guys. Yeah. Okay? They're going to go to the Positive Coaching Alliance classes. Yeah. I'm paying. We're going to learn how to coach kids and not destroy them. Build them up. Because isn't that the original definition of a coach? Yeah. Something that carries someone of note from one place to the next? That's deep. That's deep. So I want to do that. And then I know the other coaches get mad. I want to put in like an all-turf field maybe at Pedro High. All turf. Put all the lines you want on it. I don't want it black because it'll be too hot, but let's make it maybe yellow.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Something different. So everyone knows since they're a little kid, that's the yellow field. We want to play on the black and gold field.
And black seems kind of tight too.
Yeah, but on a hot day, we're like, kids getting a second-degree burn in August because he fell on it. You know, what moron that old white guy over there. You don't even have to make a statue for me. I don't want it. Yeah. My good friend, they named the stadium after him, Mr. Walsh. They should have. That's exactly it. I just want to put the carpet down in the stadium that they named after my friend. I want it to be like where kids go, this is us. Yeah. And then maybe be able to afford a nice uniform change, because that's, someone said the other day, that's the love language of teenagers. Yeah. Okay, I'll write the check for that. I don't care. I'll do other good things with the money too, but let's go do something for my babies around here.
So you're the author of your life, but of which you are the main character. What's your picture-perfect ending? And how would it feel?
God, almost feels like a Stallone movie. You know, where I kind of like go off into the fog. Yeah. You know, Adrian hasn't died. My wife Pam hasn't died. Nothing like that. But that a sense of completion. Yeah. And it could be there's always going to be the next event, the next challenge, family, career-wise, but keep doing it kind of like those Stallone movies. You know what, as that guy showed in the movies, you went from the athlete to the broken down guy to like, you almost want to, your beloved's gone, your friends are gone, you almost want to like dial it in, but no, a young guy says, come here, you have value, help me. So to be part of that process till you leave, of helping something beyond you, I definitely want to do. And that music of the tumultuous, satisfying, and then fade into it, or walking down one of these Pedro streets in the fog as it goes. Yeah. That's how I want to retire. I don't want to party. Just where'd he go? He was here. He's gone, man. You didn't know? He's gone. Wow, that was good. Yeah. That was a good movie. That was a good life. Yeah. That sounds almost like too big to say, but no, I've been blessed. No, I've got to do that. Now I drive around. I do the metal thing just to show the kids. Like, that started because a girl goes, I can't afford a cell phone. I got to trade hours and go make French fries somewhere. I'm like, yeah, you can, but you can start working now. I got to wait till I'm 16 to get to work. You can't babysit? You can't clean something? You can't help somebody go shopping? Oh, you got to think. You can't look around the house and learn how to sell it? My God, Craigslist free. Drag that stuff home, list it, and flip it. Don't sit around and say what you can have. Figure out how to get it. Get rid of that mindset of lack and get the one of abundance. Oh, let's go solve it. Let's go figure it out. Because maybe that Rolls Royce you wanted, as you're chasing the dream, you go, maybe I didn't really want a Rolls Royce after all. Maybe that Lexus with rims on it looks nice. That's a lot better, and it gets better mileage.
What would you want your legacy to be?
Love. He was a man who was committed to his wife and his family, and he gave of himself to others to show how to make a positive life. And when he coached, he taught those same lessons to other people's sons and daughters, mostly sons, to do that and to be positive and to be a positive change for their own communities. And that's what I do to this day. I help some people with their local cleanups. I pick crap up too. If we wait for the city to do it, we're gonna wait a long time. We Pedro, we'll do it ourselves. Are the cameras watching me? Okay. Don't want to do anything illegal, but we solve problems around here, and that's my legacy, that I was committed to being a good husband and father to those guys, and in my work career being a good example and leader and father to my adopted sons year after year, and that I'm honored that I got to be amongst all of them.
That's it, Coach.
Dude, you listen to me like prattle on, and dude, is he even going to remember the goddamn question? Like,